Welcome to the Insight Lab. I'm Ethan. And I'm Lila. Here, we dive into meaningful conversations about growth, mindset, and intentional living. Together, we explore ideas that spark change and uncover practical insights to help you thrive. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's start this journey of discovery together. Have you ever had one of those days where, after working your tail off all day, you finally hit the bed, and your brain just won't stop churning? Thoughts keep you tossing and turning all night. Oh, completely. Or, worse yet, when you think you've had a restful day like binge-watching your favorite show or scrolling aimlessly on your phone, and yet, you somehow feel more drained than before. Exactly. It's this odd phenomenon of resting, yet not actually recovering. And guess what? Research suggests that it's because our fatigue often isn't just physical. It's mental fatigue that really drains us. So it's about the brain, huh? Like, Andy Puddicombe, the meditation guy, talks about how our minds get tangled up in unconscious thoughts, right? Exactly. He calls out that while sleep helps the body recharge, it doesn't necessarily reset the mind. To truly rest, we need to master our awareness and life with mindfulness. We need to kick those chaotic, spiraling thoughts to the curb. That checks out. I mean, think about this. Have you ever tried doing absolutely nothing, like lying on the couch all weekend? Logically, you think it's rest, but you end up more tired. Oh, I've been there. That's exactly what psychologist Sue Man described. There's this case she mentioned, a woman named Kashwan. She'd block off her weekends, avoid her phone, and just sleep. But instead of feeling rejuvenated, she'd wake up even groggier and guilty to boot. Geez, the double blow, being tired and guilty. So, what's the science behind that? Why isn't doing nothing working? Turns out, when we're not actively engaging our brains, something happens called the default mode network, DMN for short. It's like the brain's idle mode. Ironically, it burns an insane amount of energy, over 55% more than when we're actively focused. So, our brain gets stuck reviewing old worries or jumping ahead to future anxieties while we're just chilling. Not much of a break for our mental engines, huh? Spot on. And this is what creates that sneaky mental fatigue. We think we're relaxing, but instead, our brain's like a hamster running endlessly on a wheel. Okay, so then what do we do? Just avoid zoning out entirely. That can't be practical. No, it's not about staying hyperactive, it's about the kind of rest you engage in. Psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi is such a mouthful, right? He categorized leisure into two types. Oh yeah, I've heard about this. Passive versus active leisure, right? Like mindless activities, TV marathons, gaming sprees versus doing stuff that requires focus, like reading or even meditating. Exactly. And guess what? Passive leisure, while tempting, can leave you feeling restless and agitated. Why? Because DMN kicks in. But with active leisure, you're so fully absorbed, your brain doesn't have a chance to spiral. It's all about being totally in the moment. That makes so much sense now. No wonder scrolling through endless memes doesn't leave me feeling particularly zen. It's reactive, not proactive. Exactly. Take Lily, for instance. She was a manager who left her job to become a stay-at-home mom. Despite sleeping in every day, she felt completely drained. Let me guess, it was because every day felt unstructured, aimless. Yes. But then she turned it around. She started creating a daily routine, really focusing when she worked, and choosing hobbies that energized her during downtime. It's like she reclaimed her life by anchoring her mind in the present. This is wild. So, it's not just about chilling out but about mindful recovery. Which brings me to mindfulness itself. What exactly is it beyond the trendy term we hear all the time? Great question. Andy from 10-Minute Meditation defines it as connecting non-judgmentally with the present moment essentially being all in with what you're doing, feeling, or experiencing right now. Okay, but easier said than done, right? What if those nagging feelings, sadness, frustration just won't leave you alone? Oh, totally valid. Andy shares a personal story about battling sadness during meditation. He tried resisting those feelings but kept failing. That's when his mentor gave him a wake-up call. Happiness isn't about eradicating every negative emotion. It's about finding peace within any emotional state. So, instead of fighting it, you allow it. Like, let the sadness or frustration just exist without attaching judgment to it. You got it. It's about freeing up that resistance. By letting emotions flow naturally, you reduce the internal tug-of-war that drains your energy. I love that it's almost like flipping the perspective. Let the chaos life rent free for a bit, and it'll eventually pack up and live on its own. Beautifully said. Another thing mindfulness teaches is to truly soak into the now. Like in the novel A Pilgrim's Journey, the protagonist transforms his dreary life by fully noticing the world around him, plants, people, the moment. And that's powerful. Sometimes we're too busy obsessing over the past or freaking out about the future to appreciate what's right in front of us, huh? Exactly. It's a reminder that the little dots of now we connect full are what make the bigger picture of a fulfilling life. Alright, last nugget of wisdom: how do we deal with this obsessive desire for total control? You know, the urge to make everything perfect and avoid anything negative. Oh, classic human behavior. Andy's mentor had some advice there too. Let go of the need to control every experience. Joy and discomfort are both inevitable. Accepting that duality lets you find peace instead of exhausting yourself chasing one and avoiding the other. So, life's about coloring outside the lines sometimes, huh? Let go of perfection and embrace the mess. Absolutely. In the end, mindfulness isn't about fixing everything, it's about trusting in the process and valuing presence over perfection. I'm inspired and honestly, a little less stressed about my endless to-do list. I think I'm going to try a mindful activity this evening. No scrolling, I promise. That's the spirit. Remember, rest isn't about inactivity, it's about intentionality. Let's tune into the present, one moment at a time.